Because we believe the whole Word of God is still true and applicable to all in the faith today, we are often asked about sacrifices. And though it may seem rather humorous, should we be offering sacrifices in our backyards? The answer to this is actually more simple than many realize. According to Deuteronomy 16:5, we can only sacrifice where Yahweh has stated, and that place is Jerusalem. Deuteronomy 16:5-6. You must not sacrifice the Passover in any town Yahweh your God gives you except in the place he will choose as a dwelling for his name. The same is stated in Exodus 20 verse 24, Leviticus 17 verses 3-6, and Deuteronomy 12 verses 13-14. Also, we should already know these commandments to be facilitated by the Levites. And because the law stating such has not been abolished, this is the very reason that Yeshua cannot be a high priest on earth. Hebrews chapter 8, verse 4. If he, Yeshua, were on earth, he would not be a priest, for there are already priests who offer gifts prescribed by the law. Remember, this is written after the cross. This is well after the fact that Yeshua died and was resurrected. Obviously, if the sacrificial system was abolished, then it could not prevent Yeshua from being a high priest. So the reason we cannot nor should not do sacrifices today is not because the law has been abolished. The Word of God is forever. But simply because we are not Levites, nor is there a temple in Jerusalem to carry out such commandments. The temple was taken away as a form of punishment because of the fault of men. The temple being taken away is a curse, not a blessing. Does this nullify everything Moses wrote simply because there is no literal temple? Of course not. The Jews in Babylon so many years ago had the same issue, and it just places everything related to the temple on pause. Do sacrifices negate what Christ did on the cross? No, of course not. The author of Hebrews describes how they are shadows and point to him, and that the offerings were still taking place according to the law. Shadows cannot negate the reality, but only point to it. Thus, many teach, even in premillennial mainstream Christianity, that sacrifices will resume when Yeshua returns in the 1,000-year reign. This understanding is often the result of studying Ezekiel 40-48, Isaiah 56, 6-8, Zechariah 14:16, and Jeremiah 33, 15-18. Therefore, just as Hebrews chapter 8, verse 4 states, well after the events of the cross, we find that sacrifices certainly do not negate the grace offered through the cross, but simply remind us of the profound sacrifice that Christ offered. There is a massive amount of depth that can be covered on this subject, but that is for another teaching. So, if you believe the whole Word of God to be true, keep in mind sacrifices in the backyard are not what Yahweh intended. Just a thought.
It is because of you, our generous supporters, who make it possible to offer these high-quality teachings completely free of charge. If you feel led to support 119 Ministries so that we can continue this effort, please visit testeverything.net and click on the Support 119 tab. Learn how you can partner with us to take the whole Word of God to the nations.